out where she's just a total bitch to him and tries to destroy him for no reason. Like, that would make it more like the movie Prometheus. I'm mesmerized by the fact that in my opinion, like, I was trying to figure out what it was, and what I'm talking about is the fact that most critics have not responded to this movie as negatively as I think they should, or as negatively as the crappiness of it demands. Now, part of it is because the movie is very well made. It looks really nice. It's a very nice-looking movie. Nothing about the visuals wowed me. Like, I didn't really care, but if the movie had been good, I think I would have come out saying, like, wow, that was a really cool movie, and it looked really awesome. Like, I would have been really on the side of it at that point. I think the fact that it's so crummy is flavoring the fact that the visuals, while cool, were not good enough to, like, make me care about them, because the rest of what the movie was doing for me was so angering and terrible.
I haven't seen Prometheus, but I did see a show last night, and they gave this guy lemonade in a plastic cup, and he was like, "Oh, that's pretty good." And they were like, "Okay, would you like some more of that very same lemonade?" And he was like, "Sure." And then they gave it to him out of a bedpan, and he immediately said, "That's not as good." I feel like that might be the same deal.
Yeah, people talk about this. Like, if you give somebody a wine, and you tell them that it came out of, like, one of those boxes of wine, or whatever, and then you give them the exact same wine, but you say it's from some fancy vintage and some fancy whatever, they'll describe the quality of the wine completely differently. And, a lot of people point to that being as, like, oh, humans are so stupid, look at us, like, you can make us think anything just by giving us certain impressions. I don't fully agree with that analysis. I feel like your total experience of drinking something or eating something or watching something, to say that it is completely reliant on the actual substance and that the window dressing and that the overall experience is not a valid part of it, I think is kind of a dumb thing to say. I think that there is something to be said. Otherwise, why not just, when you go to a fancy restaurant, just serve you everything on plastic plates and give you plastic knives and forks? Like, there's a reason that we bring everything else up to the quality of the thing that we're trying to present, because we want the total experience to be good.
As soon as you say to someone that it's a box wine, they're not going to think about it. They're just going to have it and not try to consider, whether or not they like it. They're just not going to expect to, and they're not going to describe it in any favorable fashion, because they're not, going over it in their minds what they like about it.
Well, I don't know. Like, what I'm going to say about Prometheus is that the idea, like, the kind of, if you summed up the movie in a synopsis in just like a paragraph, is a cool idea, and that would be a cool paragraph. And I would want to see that movie, and I would like them to make that movie, but instead they made Prometheus, and it's just, it, like, all those problems that, like, the Red Letter Media guys and stuff like that point out in the Star Wars prequels are in this movie, and like turned up to 11. Like, it's craziness. It's
Did you
madness.
know that they have a half in the bag of Prometheus?
Do they have one out now?
They had it. They released it this morning.
Oh, I want to go watch that. I want to see if they tear it apart, because it is ridiculous. Like,
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either. I'm glad I haven't, because I want to express my own opinions on this, and just the things that were crazy and just made no sense. There's so many aspects. Like, there's no character in the movie who isn't a cartoon character or makes no sense. Like, Michael Fassbender is probably the best character in the movie. He's the only character that gives you any screen time where you go, I'm enjoying this, I'm being entertained, whatever. This guy's acting a part, he's doing a good job of it, the character is interesting. And I mean, I don't want to say that it's because, like, the actors in this movie were bad and Michael Fassbender is the only good actor in it, so that ruined the movie. That's nothing to do with it. It's nothing to do with the actors. It's the things, it's the characters. The writing of the characters and the setting up of the scenes just makes no sense. And, like, movies don't have to make complete sense. Like, movies can leave things up in the air, or leave things unexplained, or leave things up to interpretation. That's not what this movie does. This movie has characters doing things that just make no sense for a person to do them, and that don't line up with anything that they've done in any previous scene, or anything that you would think that they would do, or just make any sense. Like, the two main characters are a pair of archaeologists who have been going around Earth and finding all of these, like, artifacts and, like, cave paintings and, like, all this stuff of ancient civilizations that all have this same sort of a pictogram of a really tall humanoid creature with a bunch of, like, normal-sized humans standing around them. And he's always pointing up at these 5, like, orbs in the sky, okay?
Okay.
And the idea is that there's only one place that you can look at from Earth where there's stars that are in that exact configuration. And so they think, oh, these must have been like aliens or something that created mankind, and we have to go and see them, right? None of this is spoilers because all of this is in the trailer. So the movie opens with them uncovering a cave, like the one of them is digging, and then the thing she's digging opens up into this cave, and they find a cave painting, and she goes, and she sees, and she's like, oh, go get the other guy, I found something amazing. And it's because she's found another pictograph of this same thing, a big tall guy, and he's pointing up at these orbs, and that's the thing they've been looking for, so they can prove that, like, you know, all over the Earth at all different times, all different kinds of people drew this thing, and it must mean something because they didn't have any contact with each other. So they're archaeologists, okay? They go to this planet where the aliens are, okay? They go there, and there's nothing there that's, like, alive, but there's these big, like, round pyramid things, and they go inside of them, and they're really eager to go in because they came all this way, and man, they really want to meet these aliens, and they go in, and there's just, like, corpses of these aliens, and there's, like, all this technology, and, like, computers, and everything's all, like, perfectly fossilized and perfectly preserved, and, there's, like, all this stuff, and the main archaeologist guy is just immediately becomes depressed, because he came all this way to meet these aliens, to ask them, why did you create us, and he got there and they're all dead. So now he can get, as an archaeologist, can get no answers. Why did we come here? And he starts drinking, and he's, like, crying, and he's like, I really wanted to meet those aliens. I have all these questions, but now all we have is just all this junk. Like, there's just full corpses of these aliens, and all of their technology. We accidentally triggered one of their computers when we were walking down this one hallway, and it showed us a hologram of what they were doing, but I don't know. Can't get any answers out of any of this. Might as well just pack up and head